I'm saying hello on a very warm and very gorgeous day from the beautiful village of Cheltenham, Ontario. Cheltenham is very, very close to the city of Toronto. I would say, how far outside are we here? 45 minutes?
45 minutes at the most.
At the most. I'm here with Shelley Craig. Shelley is a local hospitality entrepreneur, and you run a bed and breakfast here. What is the bed and breakfast called?
Bed and breakfast is called The Top of the Hill. The Top of the Hill has been in Cheltenham as a B&B for 14 years, but the house itself is the oldest house in the village. It was built in the 1830s and renovated in 1988 when we kind of inherited it. I'm the 7th generation of the founder of the village to live in this house.
Wow, so lots of history here.
Yes.
Let me show the house. It's obviously an old structure, wooden clapboard structure with a nice garden surrounding it. And the Top of the Hill bed and breakfast, how many guest bedrooms do you have?
We have 3 rooms, but according to the fire code, we can only actually accommodate 4 people at a time. But
4 people.
Spread them out amongst
You spread them out, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, let's have a look inside because there is more interesting stuff inside. There we go. Here's all. Whoops. Here's all your bed and breakfast awards.
Yes, we've won several awards for accommodation.
Nice.
For our breakfasts.
Yeah.
My husband loves to cook, so
he's the cook.
He's most of the time. He has supposed to be a part-time job, but lately it's been a little more full-time. So
okay.
I'm having to copy what he does.
You've been reeled in.
Hopefully, I'm doing a good job.
Okay. What type of things do you make for your guests?
There's usually a fruit dish to start, coffee or tea, juice, and then a main course. Often it's some kind of an egg dish, egg souffle, or there's a German apple pancake that we make.
Nice.
Homemade waffles with some kind of a sauce, syrup, whatever. We try to cater to people's special dietary needs, so often we've done gluten-free, vegetarian. And we, as I say, we always ask if there's any diet restrictions or food allergies, and then we accommodate that.
That's great. You were going to show me something about the history of your place, right?
Yeah.
We're right here now in your dining room, and obviously there's a lovely country feel to your dining room here, but there are some significant pictures here.
Yes. These 2 old pictures are Charles and Martha Haynes, who were the founders of the village. In approximately 1821, they came from Cheltenham, England, and that's why the village got called Cheltenham. Okay. And also, when we were renovating the house, we found this, which we thought was a ledger at first, but it turns out that it was their son Charles's diary. Really? And so the diary has been transcribed, and this is all of it, and I will send a copy of that home with you. Sure. Talks about what Toronto was like when they came here in the 1830s. Well, even earlier than that, even earlier. 1820s. Wow. And then, yeah, a little bit in the 1830s because obviously they were still into Toronto on horseback or on foot the odd time, not very often. That probably, I mean, to get to Toronto probably took a day from here, I would imagine. Yes. Yeah, because they would go in, stay overnight, take a bag of feed or whatever, or go to get supplies and carry them back. Exactly. So you're directly connected to these folks 7 generations ago. I'm the 7th generation, and the house has been in the family all of that time. It's really gone off to cousins or whatever, but it's always been some descendant of the Hayneses that lived here. Isn't it amazing? That's great. Now, how did you come up with the idea of creating a bed and breakfast? Have you been doing it for a long time? Well, we've been doing it for 14 years. It always was, I think it's probably started out as a joke. It was just, oh, well, it's a big old house. It might be a neat place to have as a bed. Oh, really? When the kids were all gone. And then once our 2 sons were gone off to university and whatever, then we thought, well, let's try it again. Because Steve likes to cook, it seemed like a good retirement project for him. Yeah. But because it's such an out-of-way area, we weren't too sure whether anybody'd be able to find Cheltenham. Sure. But they have in the last 14 years. We've gradually built it up to... Yeah. I mean, we're not making a fortune here, but it's a lot of fun because you meet so many interesting people. And bed and breakfast people, I think, are a little bit different than the people that would go to a hotel because they want to know about the area, they want to do things in the area. Absolutely. And here they're usually particularly interested in history. It's funny that you mentioned that because I travel to bed and breakfast a lot. When I travel, I really love that personal touch.
And obviously it doesn't get much more personal than a bed and breakfast because you're staying in another family's house.
Right.
And they become your personal tour guide. They are your, much better than a concierge. I mean, they know the area, they know the hidden spots. Check this out, do that.
Yes.
They're so in tune with the place, and they know all the stories. So I love bed and breakfast travel. It's one of my favorite ways.
Yes. Well, and that's what we find is that people that do B&B, that's why. But then we've had a lot of first-time B&Bers who had never done it before, but once they tried it, they thought, oh, well, they think they might try it again.
Exactly.
So,
it's nice, and especially in a place that serves a nice breakfast. It's so great when you sit there and you get a wonderful country, breakfast or a waffle with some strawberries or whatever, and you're basically filled up for the rest of the day.
That's right.
And you only need dinner.
We get a lot of Bruce Trail hikers.
I can imagine.
Local hikers, and so yes.
Here's the cook. I caught the cook. He didn't expect to be on camera, so I just caught you impromptu. So, what is your favorite dish to make? Because I hear you make excellent breakfast.
I like making the German apple pancake.
German apple pancake.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Kind of nice.
It sounds delicious.
And we serve it with pea meal bacon.
Yeah.
And
that's a nice filling breakfast.
Yeah, it's good.
Excellent. Great. How did you learn to cook so well?
Like my grandmother taught me, and I worked in restaurants when I was going to college.
Oh, good. So you really have a first-hand experience with hospitality.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's great. Yeah, very often it's very interesting with the bed and breakfasts. It's usually a couple doing it, and the woman is sort of the outgoing person and the guest relations officer, and the husband works in some sort of supporting function, but quite often is a bit more introverted. So I've seen...
Yeah, probably that's the case here, but once he's comfortable, then he opens
he knows
up the stories just as well as anybody else.
Exactly. No, that's great. Now, would this be an area that guests can access as well?
Certainly. Lots of times they would, if they check in sort of mid-afternoon, sit and chat with us here. If they're here in the evenings, particularly in the wintertime, when the fireplace is on, then we sit and have a visit, and that's fun too, because you get to know a little bit about them rather than they just come in the door and go to their bedroom.
That's right. And I would imagine all the cooking and the creative work is over in this direction?
Oh, out in that
direction?
There,
Let's have a quick peek as well, because I'm nosy. Yeah. Country kitchen, I love it. Very nice. It even smells good in here. It still smells a little bit of bacon in the air. Am I smelling that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, good, good.
Could be.
And if you don't mind, maybe we can go upstairs now and you can show me the bedrooms. Sure. Thank you.